Welcome to Page to Screen, where we explore the art and craft of screenwriting and independent filmmaking. Tonight we're talking with a Tennessee star, the writer, director, and one of my best friends, Elvis Wilson. Yay!
Yay. Oh, thank you, Irish. You're awfully kind.
This is going to be so fun.
I never do not have fun hanging out with you.
Nicely
Except
said.
when I'm miserable.
Nicely said.
Nicely said.
Okay. So tell me, short sentences. What's your backstory?
What's my backstory?
Yeah.
I grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee. I always say the other Cleveland. Very poor child, trailer trash, just could not get out of Cleveland quick enough. I was the white sheep of the family. I was the first in my family to go on to high school, much less college, and they just thought I was uppity, I got a lot of that. So I went to college on a boys club scholarship. I always knew I wanted to be an artist of some sort. I actually went to community college to study fine art, and then I got a small scholarship to continue studying that at MTSU. So I thought I was going to be a fine artist, a painting major. Soon discovered that I did not like the idea of having to massage the egos of rich people to make a living, to sell paintings,
Yeah.
So
what drew you into filmmaking?
Filmmaking. As a kid, you hear this so often. I had a Super 8 camera, I
cool.
would save my allowance, find bottles to return. Yes, kids, you used to take bottles back to be exchanged for cash, and I would buy film and shoot some movies. So I always loved movies. Star Wars.
You still have those?
No. But boy, I wished I did though.
That'd be cool.
But like any other kid, 1977 changed my life when I went to see Star Wars, and I just loved all those kinds of spacey movies.
How many times did you see Star Wars?
I innumerable times, often. And I couldn't afford to go, but would save the allowance and go.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so the first screenplay you wrote. Tell me about that and how any feelings around it.
So since I've already told you that I was a delayed filmmaker, in between that stage I got married, had kids, and I'm not the kind of guy that would just dispose my family to pursue filmmaking. So I'd always thought about filmmaking. Finally, about 2000, I had a good solid job, the family was stable. I said, honey, I'm going to make a movie. She was like, yeah, go for it. So with the support of the family, I wrote a little short film called Premonition.
Oh.
And it was awful. You'll never see it. But I learned so much from doing it.
How many pages was it?
It was about a 15-page short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not that bad. It was just no one's first movie or first screenplay is ever going to be good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And if they say this is the first thing I've ever written, I don't ever believe those people. I just don't. But I learned so much, and I got a good gathering of people together to help me out. So, but the music was great, and the acting was great.
Good, yeah.
It was just it was a bad short.
I'm sure you learned a ton.
Yeah.
You did that. Take us, try to take me from there to, I know the documentary that you wound up making at some point. What happened between?
This is a good question.
Yeah.
Documentaries, no, they're not screenplays, but a good documentary should have all the elements of a good narrative.
I know.
A beginning, a middle, of an end. They
do.
should have protagonists and antagonists, tension, all is lost moment.
Yep.
All those things are in a good documentary if you watch close enough.
I agree.
So my wife had written a book about Abraham Lincoln called Meeting Mr. Lincoln. And it was a research book. It got published. My wife's the smart one in the family. But we were watching the dedication to the Lincoln Museum in Springfield, and ABC News, about 50 these guys dressed up as Abraham Lincoln show up. And we just looked at each other like, we need to make a documentary.
You knew right that fast.
We knew right away.
Yeah.
And by the next day, I was making phone calls, doing research about the group. Turns out there's a national association of Abraham Lincoln presenters. You don't call them impersonators.
They're presenters.
They're presenters. They're very much into the educational part of it, and in 38 states. So I started 88 hours of footage later, over the next 4 years. It started out being, I was going to make fun of them, right?
Right.
But I wound up falling in love with these guys.
Yeah.
But if you ever saw the documentary Trekkies, it's a lot like that sort of thing.
I've
where
seen yours.
It's easy to make fun of them, but at the end of the day, you're like, I really admired those
so
people.
good, yeah.
So, anyways, it was a whole process of making a feature. It doesn't exist anymore, but the documentary channel at the time, it was on Dish Network. 67 million people. I had a 2-year contract with them. It was pretty cool. And then Showtime played it on their SD station at the time.
Did it start in festivals at all, or did it just go straight to channels?
Good question. Okay. And this is where I learned a lot about submitting films into film festivals. And there's a great book called I Wake Up Screening. I can't remember who wrote it, but especially if you're a screenwriter, all the information in that book, even though it's geared toward filmmaking, applies to screenwriters doing the festival circuit.
But sounds like a good book.
I did, did a lot of festivals. We were the opening night film for the Derby City Film Festival, which is now the Louisville Film Festival. We tried to break a record there to have the most Lincolns in one place. We did not break the Guinness Book of World Record for that.
What's the Guinness record?
I have no idea, but we didn't break it.
You didn't break it.
We didn't break it.
Nice. So do you mind if we take a second to take a look at, I believe it's a trailer?
We have a clip here? Oh,
I know. Aren't you
to see it.
surprised? Oh.
All my performances are given in a dramatic monologue. So I'm not talking about Lincoln, I am him. See?
This is a process, all right? And I don't know how other people do it. All I know is I get my shirt on and I get my pants on and I start coming together. It's hard being a Lincoln.
It's like Superman stepping into the phone booth.
In any kind of a job, acting, whatever it is, I believe that you should do it the very best you can. But now if you want to be stupid, well, you can.
It's not that I'm patterning my life after Lincoln. It's just I'm patterning myself the way I believe and being honest and true. And things start picking up real quick here. Think about doing this for 6 and 8 hours a night every Saturday. Pretty much.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, how you doing? What's up, buddy? How are you? How are you?
Fun,
That's so good.
Learned so much from doing that,
That is such a great documentary.
You're
You did
kind.
a
I
fantastic
appreciate it.
job.
Yeah.
It's timeless, kind of. It just.
I think it's held up.
It really has, yeah. You did the documentary.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did you have any bandwidth to do any writing and narratives, narrative ideas at that point?
Was always writing.
Okay.
Always writing.
Even though I know that took up 4 years and it was, a commitment, but you still
always
were
writing. Yeah. Okay. There was a representative with William Morris here in town who mostly facilitated trying to get like country music artists into film and their music.
That makes sense.
And she came and talked at the group one night, and I don't know what I said to her, but she said, "Send me your script." And so that was the first time I got any interest, and she shopped it around a little bit.
What did you send her? Did you say?
this was my first feature script called Time of Death.
Okay.
And I think I may have entered it into a TSA contest too, but it was a contest. It was a screenplay that was winning a bunch of awards for me. It's like I either semied, finaled, or won.
That's good.
Just about every screenplay contest.
Did your head just?
No, because I know I'm so used to rejection. It's not even funny. You just like, but you do get inspired because you feel, okay, there must be some kernel of truth in this, something that's resonating.
Yes, yeah.
And
you're encouraged for sure.
It just made me want to write more. And I never took for granted that I'd be a one-hit wonder. I knew because I just had the ethic to hammer out, keep going. This I need to have more ideas than this one idea. That got optioned, so I put that down for a while and went on to write my next short called "Don't Wake the Baby."
And then you were writing another screenplay, obviously, because you never stop.
Yeah.
And what was the next one that you really locked into, that you said, I want to do this one?
So I actually wrote several other screenplays, did a lot of film festivals, and I had one screenplay called Empathy. I actually wrote it in response to the TSA screenwriting contest called Make This Movie contest.
Okay.
It was supposed to be an idea about something that could be shot with a few locations, very simple locations. If you watch Fog, my movie, I got a lot of locations in there. They threw me a bone.
I see it.
So, well, I thought, what if you take a sociopath, someone who has no feelings or emotions, and you do gene therapy on the amygdala, which basically governs all those things like sympathy and really knowing right from wrong. And what if you cured that in someone, and a killer? And what would happen if all that unraveled?
And this was the one that originally was titled Empathy?
Empathy, yeah.
Empathy. So that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrote it.
Wrote
it
it.
won the TSA
It did.
competition.
Of course, the script needed a little work to make it shootable. So I went through some rewrites, and I said, I'm going to make this movie.
It always blows me
did.
away how
Yeah.
brave you are with that. I mean, a short is one thing. But you get it in your head. You're like, I want to do a feature, and I'm going to do it. So, can we look at? Is it a trailer we have for this one? I think.
I believe we
Fog.
have a trailer for this movie, so I'd love to share it with you.
Okay, I'd love to watch.
Sadness. What am I missing here? Anger. Is there something wrong with me? Am I a bad person? I don't feel like a bad person. I don't feel much of anything. Am I supposed to feel sorry for being who I am? I just don't know. I'm like anybody else, I guess. I just want to know where I fit in. To know exactly what I'm meant to do.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What I wouldn't give to know my purpose. To have my eyes wide open.
Mr. Fogg, we study empathy.
Test me.
This man has absolutely no ability to empathize.
gonna kill him.
Someday I'll find the answer. But until then, it's my rules and my game.
That was fun.
So good.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a great trailer. You talked a little bit about where the idea for Fog came from. Where do you get your ideas from? Is there a certain way you go about that?
Costco. Definitely Costco. They're really cheap there. And
go.
I've got the executive level membership, so yeah. I'll be here all night. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I've always been the weird kid. I'm telling you. I think I absorb, I observe. My wife will, and this is no lie, oh, quit staring at that guy. It's like I don't realize it, but I'm studying
Totally
people.
watching someone.
I'm a big people watcher. I listen to their, I'm not that weird, but sometimes people pipe up
arrested.
and it sticks with you. Things strike me funny, and they have to get. They manifest themselves in one way or the other. I feel passionately about science, and I feel like we need more empathy in the world.
So you just kind of married. It starts cooking in your brain.
Fog, empathy, was part of 3 suicide screenplays I wrote.
Right, it's part of the thing we
The
both seem to be
suicide
drawn
trilogy.
towards. Yeah.
And I do have another cancer road trip film screenplay called Driving Top Down that has been optioned. It's past option now, but it's in the hands of some people that are looking at it seriously. It's the screenplay I'm most emotionally involved in.
Maybe this is a good time to go into your process.
Yeah.
You have an idea, an inspiration, or whatever, and these things are coming together. How do you start knocking it out and having it become a story?
I'm, thank goodness there's a thing called notes on the on your iPhone
Phone,
app.
yeah.
I constantly am writing quick little notes in there about certain narrative ideas. I'll start there, rough it into logline form, research. I go usually on a feeding frenzy. And I beat things out, laboriously beat out a screenplay before I start writing.
Do you feel like you learned that in that class you were in early on, or
No.
you've developed it as you've
Yeah,
gone?
the thing I learned from the class was structure.
Right. Right.
And I do love structure. I love actually the constraint of that. And of course you learn to bend the rules, but honestly, I go to bed every night. If I'm working on a screenplay, I start at opening image, and I run through that idea through my mind, all the action, just until I fall asleep. That's probably I always do that, and eventually I get through the whole movie in my mind, if not the major beats. Then I will beat out the action very specifically. And the last 2 screenplays I've written in 90 days.
Yeah.
It comes very quickly.
Because it comes from an outline or a synopsis. You kind of you write out the story.
And I get to a vomit draft really quick.
Really
and
fast.
Then the fun stuff starts.
Yeah.
And then part of my process, I'd be remiss in saying that I have a very trusted reader, someone that will pull the kid gloves off and just let me have it. She also has an English degree, and she's an expert in Shakespeare among other great literature, and that's my wife.
I know.
She is an amazing note giver.
That is awesome.
And she does it brutally. And I love it, you know. Like,
That's
yes,
good.
sir, may I have another? It's just great to have someone. I recommend anyone get that.
It's hard to come by.
You got to find
be
a
hard to come
trusted.
by.
And I love my fellow TSA members.
That's a good,
but sometimes people are kind. Sometimes people are cruel.
Yeah.
I think you have to be objective. The best notes are the objective ones.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Well, having a trusted person,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
lucky to have
I
Nikki
feel
for
lucky.
many, many reasons. So if you could adapt, reboot any property, say a book or
Man,
franchise,
I love this question.
what would you pick?
Man, I would love, man. Silent Running, the Bruce Stern film. Again, I love science fiction. It's about saving, the Earth's precious wonders up there in space. You know, they have these biospheres and little robots that take care of these things after man has killed each other. They survive. So
do an update on that.
do an update on that film.
I think it might be time. That sounds,
Yeah, it's very timely.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a minute about screenplay contests. You've talked a lot about it actually, but maybe just sum it up. Like, what's your take on them?
Okay, enter the big ones. Austin, the Nickel Fellowship. There's
good ones.
There's good ones. There's a top 20 list out there for you. And what you'll get from that, again, is some validation. But most importantly is a lot of these give you at least a page of notes from the readers.
Right, the good ones, yeah.
And those are wonderful. So I got a note back. I keep it actually on my phone. A note from one of the readers there, and they're like, "This changed my life. I was very touched. I cried." And it didn't make it to the winner of it was a drama, but man, I touched someone. I made an impact emotionally on someone, and that's what we do.
That's great.
We want our words, our stories to be remembered. Right. So, yeah.
So what is your advice for a person just getting or thinking or maybe, wanting to get a little more serious about writing screenplays or making films?
Definitely do your homework on structure, and a screenplay is not a novel. A screenplay is not... it's a blueprint for a movie, it's not literature, it's a very intentional, functional piece of art, can it be art? In my opinion, if it does its job, it's a piece of art. You got to write, you got to put yourself out there, be brave. It's not a medium for the lazy.
No.
It's a lot of work, a lot of rework.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's fun. If you love it, you love it.
Yeah.
So.
And take notes from people, but don't feel the rejection. Some people are like, oh, everybody hates this. 5 people hate what you're doing. Someone might connect with what you're doing. If you can't take a little bit of sidewinding, you might as well just not start.
Okay.
So.
All right. Some heavy advice there.
I feel passionately about it. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you working on now?
Oh man, I last year I finished a screenplay called my first horror comedy, and it's doing the festival route right now. It's called It Wants to Feed.
I've read that one.
I hope you found it funny.
I did.
It's really the first comedy I've written. I've done dramedy, but dramedy is mostly comedy spiked with a little, drama spiked with a little comedy to keep it from being so dark. Finished that. I'm really happy with that. I thought it was fun. I've got a rewrite to do on it, and I'm going to try to do a round 2 at the festivals. I'm 80 pages into a script that I workshopped through the Tennessee Screenwriting Association. I kicked around the log line and kind of a 1-pager. Sometimes I do a 4-pager, but if I just want quick feedback one night, I'll do a 1-pager and kind of talk through it. And then we also did a special Saturday session where a few of us got together, and a very small group kind of helped me kick through some things I was trying to work through on the narrative. It's called One and Done. It's about an aging assassin who he wants to quit. He's done. He's got prostate cancer.
Have you read? How far into it are you reading?
80 pages.
Ah.
Yeah. I'm past my all is lost moment.
Okay.
I'm into what I call the battle royale.
Well, we are out of time.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming and
this was-
sharing all your experience and your knowledge with us.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Page to Screen is sponsored by the Tennessee Screenwriting Association. To find out more about the TSA, including our meeting schedule, or to become a member, visit us online at www.10screen.com or check out our Facebook page. We meet every Wednesday, either here in the real world or online through Zoom. Again, check the website and the social media for the latest TSA and Page to Screen updates. Elvis, do you have any final words of wisdom for our fellow storytellers and filmmakers out there?
Don't give up. If you've got it in you, you've got to get it out. Share with the world and be kind to the next person.
Okay.
All
right. I like it.
right. Thanks for having me.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Iris Johnston, and thanks for watching Page to Screen. And remember, keep on writing and keep on learning. Now.